Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and in this video let's have a look at the low visibility takeoff using the heads-up display in the aircraft and avionic updates to enhance Boeing 787. We're standing on the runway at Munich. I created a weather scenario that is pretty much as bad as I could manually create it in the simulator. So we've got the highest possible precipitation level, and looking at the clouds, they last until below the ground level. 100% overcast, full density, full scatter. So that's the scenario in which we are over here. And we're standing on runway 26 left in Munich. So let me quickly guide you over the setup that we have done for this departure. So starting with the FMC, we have our runway 26 left with the VBUG 3 Sierra departure. And you can disregard anything that's below the discontinuity down there. That is just what I've entered for a later recording of the arrival as well. Okay, looking at the navigation display, we've got our magenta routing over here, Delta Mike 049 left out. Disregard the blue line for this departure. This is the missed approach from a return towards Munich, which is not going to play a role in this video. So you can disregard the blue line. Now, let's have a quick look into what we need to check when we are lining ourselves up on the departure runway. In the 787, we've got a good, lovely aids over here, like for example the airport map on the navigation display that we can use to verify the correct position on the runway. So we want to depart on 26 left, and this is exactly where we are standing right now. Apart from that, however, we also need to tune the ILS frequency of our departure. And keep in mind that, at least in the present version, it does not automatically do that. Now, I don't know if that is a bug or a feature, but in any case, I have tuned the ILS frequency and course manually down here, and I simply use the Navigraph charts to get hold of them. Now, once that is tuned and you are lined up on the runway center line, there is a couple things we need to check. First of all, we look at the primary flight display and make sure that the runway symbol is exactly centered. The same goes for the localizer indication down here, and you can check that on the heads-up display over here as well. So you want to make sure that you are going to be exactly on the runway center line. Next up, depending on the certification your airline has received, in case of my airline it is at least 125 meters RVR for the takeoff, we need to count the lights that we see on the runway in front of us. And 125 meters equals to 6 lights as the minimum that we need to be able to see. So we actually need to count manually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we can see more at the moment, so right now the RVR is probably much more, but you can see it's varying. It's now going back, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is just about 125 meters RVR. So you can see that we are exactly at the takeoff minimum for my airline certification over here. Now, we are going to use the heads-up display for this departure, and you will notice that by default it is very, very bright. And that is something we don't want, because if you're looking at the heads-up display like this, it is going to make it pretty difficult to see anything right through it. So this is going to significantly reduce your visibility. Therefore, we are going to take the brightness selector and we will rotate it down to the minimum where you can just about see it, but still be able to look through the HUD indication and get the best possible visibility on your runway. So that's the setup we're going to use for this takeoff. Now that we're all set, let's go ahead and get our 787 flying. Quick note here, by the way, by default this is the point of view that I'm getting with the HUD, but we want to be able to see the entire display, so I am moving forward a tiny bit over here so that I can really see everything. Apart from that, default 747, so default enhanced 747 I should say, with the aircraft and avionics update is what you see in action over here. Okay, let's quickly do the B4 takeoff checklist to make sure that we're all good to go. Flight control. Checked, VNAV climb patch is not needed. Engine anti-ice, 15 degrees, not needed. Then strobe light switch is on. Landing light switch is on. Taxi light switch on. Transponder TARA B4 takeoff checklist complete. Okay, we're going to set a decent range on the nav display like this. And then we are all ready and set to go. Parking brake released. LNAV and VNAV. Okay, stabilized, set takeoff thrust. The important thing now is basically that you keep the localizer exactly centered over there. So that is your job during this takeoff. You are exclusively looking outside, using the heads-up display there to see the most important data. Okay, we passed 80 knots. Rotate. And this is basically all that we need to do for our low visibility takeoff using the heads-up display. Now, a quick word here, if you did not want to use the heads-up display, that is that at this moment, once you start rotating the airplane, you would transition your point of view from the outside, from the runway, towards the inside onto the instrument to fly the airplane on the primary flight display, just like you would do in, well, basically any other airplane and any other weather scenario once you start rotating. So that is how you do the low visibility takeoff using the HUD in the Boeing 787. Now, do let me know what you think about this in the comments below the video, and I'm really looking forward to welcome you all again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to support the channel, I would love to see you as a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive early access to new videos before they are released for everyone else. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you all again on the next one.